The FormulaSPEED 2.0, or the FS 2.0, is a brand new clean slate race car we've been developing for a couple of years. It is one of the most accommodating Formula cars as far as driver size. It is definitely one of the easiest Formula cars to work on, and it will prove to be one of the most cost-effective and exciting cars in the junior Formula car world.
So we sat down and we just made a bullet-pointed list. What would be the best race car? You know, we sat down and we thought about the cars that we had worked with in the past, the Formula Renaults, the Atlantic cars, the 2 liters in the past, and we made this long list of what we would want in a race car, and essentially what our drivers have been asking us for, and our clientele have been asking for. They want a car that can fit most any driver. They want a simple car to work on, but it has low cost to run.
Once we decided to go ahead with the FormulaSPEED, one of the first things we had to do was find a partner to work with on the design and manufacturing of the bulk of the race car. We realized that Fast Forward, who has been a long-time vendor of ours making driveline components and other race car components, was also the manufacturer of one of the most successful Formula Fords currently made. Everything that Fast Forward has ever made for us has been top-notch and usually better than what we had expected or called out. And that's the kind of vendor that we wanted to work with on this project. Put that together with them being local to us, and it was a slam dunk.
Definitely something we were excited about. You know, it's not in this day and age. There's not really many opportunities for someone to design a car from scratch, from clean sheet design, which is what I was able to do on this. And so I saw it as a pretty great opportunity that not a lot of people get. We're not cutting corners anywhere. We've saved money where it was logical to do so. So I think it's unique in the racing world, at least in the amateur Formula car world right now, as far as performance for the dollar. There's nothing that compares. And we're not really competing against other manufacturers in the same class, so we're not really pressed to minimalize everything. So chassis and a lot of the driveline components and everything are overbuild. The entire car is built out of 4130 alloy steel. The roll structures in the car are, you know, we've taken the requirements that we have to build the car to according to the rules, and then gone another step further as far as you know, the tubing sizes and the strength of the structure and everything. So we've come up with a package that's still relatively lightweight, but definitely over-designed. A lot of it's universal, hubs, stub axles, a lot of the internal parts and everything are all common to all 4 wheels, so you don't have to carry as many spare parts. A lot of it's universal throughout the car. Wheel bearing in it is built was originally out of a street car that weighs, you know, 5-6 times as much. All that stuff is probably, you know, double the strength of what it needs to be. So we tried to make as many things movable and adjustable easily as possible. You know, the entire pedal assembly, master cylinders, pedals, the stops for everything is all one integrated assembly. So, you know, we can go from someone who's 6'5" to someone who's 5'6" just by undoing a couple bolts, slide the whole assembly back in the car. With the exception of the transmission and the engine, everything on the car is made in the United States. And machine part wise, we make all that in-house. We design it and build it in-house. All of our, it's all done on CNC machinery. Mostly vertical machining centers for all the milling work, a couple multi-axis mills, 4-axis milling on some of the things.
After we'd selected Fast Forward to be our partner on design and manufacturing, the next big thing was to pick a power plant, and we knew we wanted a bulletproof motor, and we knew we wanted to work with a company that was going to stand behind us in the series. Mazda was an easy choice. They've been really supportive of grassroots motorsports over the last several years, if not decades. And the MZR 2-liter motor is a bulletproof motor. It's tried and true, very well proven in the MX-5 Cup Series, and we caught the 2009 motor at the beginning of its design life. So we know we've got a good solid motor that will be available for a long time with a lot of support from a car manufacturer. After we selected the MZR 2.0 engine, one of the easiest decisions we made was selecting Hasselgren as the race engine builder. They're local to us. We have a long-standing relationship with them. They've had a huge amount of success in Atlantics, Daytona prototypes, and almost any other form of racing you can think of. Paul, Renu, Oz, all of the people over at Hasselgren really are top-notch people, brilliant engine builders, and we knew that the product that they would provide for this car would be perfect and really surpass all of our performance and longevity goals.
Well, the company's role, Hasselgren, is to provide the engine as well as the harness systems on the car and the controls for the engine. But it was also great to be able to provide a new engine for us and in a new type of racing than we've been providing engines to recently.
Well, the engine's about 195 horsepower, and it's a straight out of the crate engine. And we just put a pan, manifold, and reprogram the computer so that basically the engine produces the 195 horsepower.
It is not being run outside of the normal operating range of the street car, so time will tell, but we certainly hope to be able to go at least 2 seasons.
A little bit of the old Colin Chapman idea. You know, you pull parts off with the motor and you use it in the chassis. But in all fairness, what we're doing is we're using the electronic throttle off the crate engine. We're using the oil intercooler off the crate engine. We put a pan on it, basically allows us to use the oil pump that's in the engine.
Well, what's great about the heat exchanger on here is it's the stock oil heat exchanger, so we don't need to have an oil radiator. And we've designed a nice part which mounts that and incorporates the oil filter. That ECU is based on the widely used SQ6 ECU, which is used in Champ cars, in Atlantic Swift, in Palmer Audi in the UK, Formula Nippon in Japan.
We've been using an AVL dyno, which is basically one of the top of the line dynos you can actually purchase, one of the few on the West Coast. So we can map top end, partial throttles, and low end, wide open throttles. So it opens the envelope up. Nothing's been compromised on that. That's what I think is a big key here.
The last piece of the design process was for us to work on the look of the car and select the bodywork manufacturer. We knew we wanted it to be unmistakable. We knew it needed to be sleek, stylish, attractive, something that everybody would look at and go, wow, that's a FormulaSPEED 2.0. We got some of the styling inspiration from the Stealth, from other modern sports cars. Then when we took all of that to Rick Fitzgerald at Aircraft Bodywork, he definitely shared our vision for the car. And so it was an easy decision to go ahead and work with Rick at Aircraft with the bodywork. And he did a great job executing the design. The car is fantastic.
Yeah, I've just been building race car parts since the early 80s. It's supposed to be bulletproof, so it's like a bulletproof vest. So there's 5 layers of Kevlar in there. It should be pretty damn strong. 2 layers of 2-ounce mat, with layers of foam in it, and sandwiched with another 1.5 ounces of mat. You could probably pick the car up with a nose.
Throughout the design process, one of the things we kept in the forefront of our mind was cost containment. Cost containment for the purchase of a new car, and more importantly, cost containment for operating the car. We really wanted people to be able to spend more time on the track with this car. All of us got into racing because we love racing, we love driving. Some of us like working on cars too, but ultimately it's all about being on the track, driving, having fun. And with the FormulaSPEED, we were absolutely able to hit that goal of cost containment without sacrificing quality.
So the car is going to be delivered with all the documentation on how to work on the car, how to do a prep. It's going to have a full prep sheet. It's going to have lists of mileages when you should do certain services. What we've done is we've basically spec'd the geometry, and instead of having rod ends, we've just got your A-arm that's got uniballs on each end. You basically get a new one and you bolt it right on. This car has about 30% less parts than either of the other two cars in our series. You're talking about less inventory for your typical club racer. And we've got regions all over the country that run with NASA, but also run with SCCA. So it's important that the car be homologated for SCCA. And the car will be homologated in the Formula Atlantic class. If you're a hobbyist and you want to go fast and you want the latest technology, you want low running costs, this is your car. But if you're a go-karter and you're thinking, you know, someday I would like to get to IndyCar, this is also your car.